Alright, today I'm going to show you how to cook a porterhouse steak the right way, from the bone side first. We're going to get it good and hot and then cook the steak. Okay, but before we do that, let's pick out the best porterhouse possible. Now I picked up these beauties at Fairway Market in the Harlem borough of Manhattan. These steaks are loaded with marbling and are going to have a ton of flavor and moisture because of those great flecks of fat that are found in the muscle. That's all marbling is, flecks of fat in the muscle. But it makes for amazing flavor, moisture, tenderness. But these specimens are dry aged in temperature controlled rooms. These steaks were hung for 60 days. It does not get any better than this right here. When you dry age a steak, a mold forms around the outside of the steak, thus releasing an enzyme that actually tenderizes it and gives it that deep, rich flavor that everybody should experience at least once in their life. By dry aging it, it gives it almost kind of a minerally deep and moist, complex, wonderful mouthfeel and flavor. You gotta try it once. Spend the money, get that great dry aged piece of meat, and cook it the right way with a good sweetened rub that'll caramelize real good over your hot coals or over your gas barbecue. Even a 550-degree gas oven or under the broiler, it's going to come out great, but you got to cook it hot and quick. I know you've all heard low and slow, but not for a steak, especially a thick one. We definitely want to start by seasoning the steak properly. Then we want to blister the outside with searing high heat, ultimately finishing the steak in an oven-like atmosphere with high, intense heat all around it. Alright, if you are cooking it outside, we're going to start bone side down first, just like this. Get that bone good and hot. Let it sit over a medium hot part of your grill and let it cook there on that bone for about 6 to 8, maybe even 10 minutes, depending on the thickness. Let it get good and hot. But first, let's start by prepping the steak and getting it ready for the grill. I'm going to show you a great crusting mix that's very easy to do, very simple. You can use really good quality spices with a little addition of some brown sugar, and that's going to give you the caramelization you need to get a great crust on your steaks. Let me show you how we do this. We're going to start with Chef Paul's Cajun Spice Mix, the red fish or seafood seasoning. It's a great product. Alright, so you're going to use 1 bottle of Chef Paul's Seafood Magic. Alright, I know it's not seafood, but this is a great spice blend and it works great with steaks. Now we're adding 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar. Pretty easy, right? I like kosher salt, but if you can find a Himalayan pink crystal salt or a Caspian Sea black flake salt, or even better than that, check this one. You can find in some places a white truffle infused salt blend. You put that one in here, forget about it, man. That one is going to be off the chain. Alright, so you really want to mix this one up well. You might as well make this in a airtight container that you can save and use for a later date for another application. Okay, so our steaks are already loaded with those nice flakes of fat called marbling. We already talked about blistering this over screaming high heat, so we definitely want a little bit of oil on the surface of the steak, and olive oil is the best choice. I always like to use extra virgin, some people don't, but I always use good olive oil. If you are lucky enough to go to a Fairway Market, you got to check out their olive oil selection, man. They have the greatest, widest selection of great olive oils at just stupid prices. Alright, we've brushed our steaks with good extra virgin olive oil on one side. Flipping them over now, we sprinkled them generously with that really nice light brown sugar spice blend that's going to give that great caramelization on the steak when we're cooking it. Now I talked about the caramelization, but I didn't talk about the flavor enhancement. That little bit, just that little bit of brown sugar is going to give you a pop of flavor that you can't even imagine. You know, you get that sugar and that salt thing going on. You don't taste sugar in the steak. You don't even notice it, but you've got that great color, that crispness when you're cooking it. You know, I always say color equals flavor. Whenever you're cooking, man, you've got to get color on it. Certain things no, but a steak, absolutely. You see that I'm brushing the spices into the steaks here, man. It's not absolutely mandatory, but what I'm doing is I'm evening out my spices, and I'm also, you can see I'm pressing them into the steak a little bit too. Wow, look at this. You think I need a new grill brush yet? Okay. Well, I scrub the grill a lot, and I use Pan. You know what, the professional Pam that you find in the market, this stuff is high heat resistant. You're going to see my grill is screaming hot by the flame that's coming up off the back. But if you want to cook your product on the grill well, prep your grill. And that means using a good nonstick. Pam is good stuff. Use this stuff. Put it on your grill and get it ready before you put those gorgeous steaks down there and pick up flakes of the last whatever it was you cooked. Now check this, man. Look at this. Right now I'm standing these steaks up on their bone. Right? Look at this. This is hot. All right, so we're going to stand them here, like I said before, between 6 and 8, maybe even 10 minutes. But now you see this steak here? This is a little bit thinner than the other two, and so the bone is a little bit more irregular. So I had to move it a little bit to make certain that it sat on the grill right. Now check this. Look at this. From overhead, you don't see I've got some screaming high, flaming up thing. My heat is good right here. Just enough to get those bones hot. The truth is, the grill was at an extremely high heat for a good half hour, 45 minutes, before the steaks ever even saw the grill. Once I was ready to put the steaks on, I went ahead and turned it down to a medium-high heat, so not to destroy these beautiful, gorgeous steaks that you see here. Alright, once your steaks have sat on the bone for a good 8-10 minutes, got the bone real good and hot, you're ready to flip your steaks down on their sides and get to cooking the meat portion of the steak. You can also see by that warmth, it really helps those spices get inside the pores of the meat. Man, you're not going to regret that, I guarantee you. Okay, now, I'm not happy that I'm moving these steaks as soon as I am. The only reason why I'm sliding these steaks forward, now you see I'm sliding them forward, not moving them side to side. I want my grill marks to be really, really pronounced, okay? I shouldn't have moved them. Right there, you saw I had to unstick the fillet portion of that one. They need to crust up or they will stick to the grill. Make certain you let your meats and fish, whatever you're grilling, let it build up a crust before you move it. Now they've been on the grill for a good 6 minutes plus, maybe 7, 8, 9 minutes. You know, I can still go further on this one. I don't see that caramelization, but check this one right here. That's the look. You see that blistering right there? You see that color? That's going to give you that crunch, that nice mouthfeel. Okay, I'm glad that we had this flare up. I get to show you this. Don't panic. If it flares up, just put a tray next to your grill by you. Get rid of the fuel source. When the flame goes down and all that fat is burnt off those radiant broiler covers, then you can put your steaks back on, close the lid, try to keep your flame in control, but you do want a little bit. That's why it's a radiant broiler. It has those, what are they? They're like radiators? Yeah, absolutely, radiant broiler. So when the fat hits it, it flares up and it sends that flavor back to the meat. That's what we want, right? So when you cook it, a little bit of flame's okay, a lot of flame is not. I think it's pretty obvious. These steaks look all right. No problem here. You know, we're really, look at those grill marks. Look at, we have nice color on it. You're really going to taste all that. A lot of that is due to the sugar. As a personal chef and caterer, you have to be able to cook your product and hold it for a later service time. So I've cooked these steaks about 3/4 of the way through. We've set our oven, as you just saw, for 500 degrees, good and hot. When I'm ready to finish the steaks out, I'm going to put them in the oven to my desired temperature. 145 is going to be rare, 150, 155 medium rare, 160, 65, well, that's beyond what I even want to talk about.